And a change of the schedule, we're going to get underway with the Junior Rotax final first. Here is your starting grid. So after the pre-final, Macaulay Bishop starts from pole position, and he's got Austin Lee alongside him on the front row. Enzo Bol and Felipe Falk will be on row 2. Matej Radenkovic and Kasper Schaumanns alongside. There is a kart stuck on the grid, and that is the 286, I believe. It looks like that. Yep, that is the 286. And that is going to be one of the drivers. And that would be Mika van der Pavert, due to start 8th alongside Thomas Ingram Hill on row 4. Dion van Werven and Leon Zelenko due to start on row 5. It was actually Mika van der Pavert who was due to start 12th alongside Lawrence Herbold, so there's going to be a gap on row 6. Gabriel Cullen and Max Cuthbert, row 7. William Murtaugh and Maxim Sachurko, row 8. Adam Klepsik, Gustav Zusakos, row 9. Jack West and Thijs van Wijk rounding out the top 20. Alexander Savinkov and Frederick Zebis Christensen, row 11. Kiran Bartenstein and Thomas Rudorkas, row 12. Patrick Slipovics and Vian Bossoff round out the top 13. Rose Boluet, Puck Gubbles, Noe Janssen and Anja Levar round out the top 30. Aras Majauskas, Martin Ernesto Varga, Nemanja Jovanovic, Jimmy Kokalainen, Vasila Postolowski and Armand Hamilton rounding out the 36 grid, the 36 strong grid, being now 35. And now the good thing is Mika van der Pavert will be able to take the start, but will have to be from the repair lane, so the 286. Now we go into battle for the first of 5 finals. So the wet weather puts a spanner in the works for all concerned. Tyres changed to wets. Rain suits on. Into the tram lines. Are we ready? Are we steady? The Junior Rotax final gets going. Macaulay Bishop gets a great start. So does Enzo Bol. Looking up the inside of Austin Lee. And there's going to be a spinner. And that is into turn 2. And that was the Lando Norris chassis. Looks like a Dan Holland Racing livery, I believe. But some finding purchase in the wet weather. Others already starting to struggle. One's already gone off, and that was the 266. Thijs van Wijk. Everyone is really treading around this circuit like it's an ice rink. It's that difficult right now because everybody is in the same boat. Macaulay Bishop has already got a comfortable lead. Enzo Bol in second. And now third place could more than likely be Dion van Werven. That's the CRG chassis. Mitchell van Dijk in 5th behind Austin Lee. Now this is getting very, very close. Mitchell van Dijk swings to the outside of turn 12. We've got another spinner. 278 out of turn 11. Jimmy Kokalainen from Finland. Macaulay Bishop, after the opening lap, has nearly a 9/10 of a second advantage. And now more drama. That's Leon Zelenko off at the outskirts of turn 2. 3 wide, coming out of turn 2 into turn 3. Adam Klepsik is in that. Be possible. I'm not too sure who else might have been in that. Might have been Alexander Savinkov. And there is the 271, Jack West. And he spins, coming out of turn 7. Whoa, everyone is being caught out, and Jack West might have got a little bit of an inadvertent assist, but he gets back onto the circuit. Now, Enzo Bol finds himself still in second. Austin Lee now in third place ahead of Dion van Werven. Behind them is Casper Schormans up into fifth place past Mitchell van Dijk, who's P6. Seventh and eighth being contested. Matej Denkovic now behind Laurens Herboz. Gustav Siusakovs rounds out ninth place. And in 10th it was Jack West. And now it's Felipe Falk from the Netherlands. Macaulay Bishop did have nearly a 9/10 of a second advantage. And that has gone down to just over 5.5 tenths of a second as they make their way. The drivers, as you can see, using the curbing to get through turn 6. The curbs, however, can still catch drivers out, even with wet weather tyres. And Enzo Bol runs very wide coming out of going through turn 8. Austin Lee takes the tighter line, but Macaulay Bishop still leading the way. Last year, it was Bruno Mulders who won the drag race to the finish to pick up the opportunity to go to the grand finals, as there's more drama at the top of turn 9. That looks to be the 291. So that just goes to show how difficult these conditions are. That was Felipe Falk, who was running in 10th. The gap between the top 4 last time around was just under 1.4 seconds. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to these drivers, plus an additional lap in these wet weather conditions is going to feel like a lifetime. But you can't make mistakes. You've got to be pretty much as best as you can, as Enzo Bol is closing in on Macaulay Bishop. Got just under 6.5 minutes to go out of the 11 minutes. And we got going 4 minutes and 44 seconds ago. A little bit further back, we've got a nice little battle emerging. Armand Hamilton reveling in these conditions, and Armand Hamilton, all right, get this, started 36th and now is more than halfway through the field. The Australian now up into 15th position, and now the lead has changed. Enzo Bol ahead of Macaulay Bishop. Austin Lee in third place, with Dion van Werven rounding out the top 4. They were covered by less than a second. So everybody is just trying to survive this, and that is the 290. That's off at turn number 12, the final corner, Kieran Bartenstein. So Enzo Bol took the lead off of Macaulay Bishop going through the 12th and final corner, and it was Linus Stern between the top 4. Kieran Bartenstein manages to get the kart back onto the circuit and back underway. Kieran Bartenstein was a little bit further up, but now drops to stone dead last. Austin Lee now looking up the inside of Macaulay Bishop through turn number 12. Bishop plants the throttle down and keeps it pinned round the outside of Austin Lee through the final corner and retakes second position. Brilliantly timed. He knew that he wanted to swing wide and have to get the traction coming out of that 12th and final corner, and the rear tyres bit down on the tarmac and he got through, but he lost out on the very next corner through turn 2 as Austin Lee used the slipstream. Macaulay Bishop is now having to battle away with Dion van Werven. We still have just over 4 minutes to go. until the checkered flag. Dion van Werven tries to go up the inside, coming out of the exit of turn number 9 on Macaulay Bishop. Now looks to the inside of turn 10. Bishop steers out wide to avoid. Catching them up is Casper Schormans. There's Lawrence Herbols behind Mitchell van Dijk. And the 277 who rounds out the top 6. Fastest lap of the race, Austin Lee, 1 minute 14.135. And then he's going to go side by side ever so briefly through turn 2 on Enzo Bol. So the 2 leaders, Enzo Bol followed by Austin Lee. Bump over the curbs. So does Dion van Werven, who is in 3rd place ahead of Macaulay Bishop. 3 minutes to go on the timer. Further down the order, Nemanja Jovanovic started 33rd, now up 13 places into 20th position. Vasil Postolowski started 35th, now up to 27th. But in these conditions, Adas Mažauskis has managed to go a little bit further up the order. And the Lithuanian, based in the UK, now up to 23rd. Time penalty has been given to Boluet, 5 seconds for pushing. And Louet currently sitting in 11th place. As we now go on to our 8th lap, with 2¼ minutes on the timer remaining. So Enzo Bol leads the way. Austin Lee in 2nd. Dion van Werven in P3. Macaulay Bishop, last time around, was just over 5 and a bit, well, he's 5.5 tenths of a second behind. With 1 minute and 53 seconds still to go. The unpredictability factor of the wet weather, as the wind still is very much present here at the circuit. And oh, right, that's 2:26 that's just come in. So that is a real shame for one of the Lithuanian drivers. And that was Tomas Rudokas. With just under 90 seconds of the timer remaining. Austin Lee in the braking zone, getting closer to Enzo Bol, who's able to power out of the corners and get the traction he needs. But Dion van Werven is closing in. Just over a minute to go, plus an additional lap. And Enzo Bol, since he got past Austin Lee and also Macaulay Bishop, he has now got the race lead and could follow in the footsteps of a fellow Dutchman. So 35 seconds still to go on the timer. So with the fact that they are setting 1 minute 14s, Enzo Bol swings very, very wide just to get the traction out of turn number 8. Next time around, we will get the final lap board. Another 5-second penalty this time to Nemanja Jovanovic for pushing. That's 5 seconds added. As the timer will strike 0 as Enzo Bol makes his way down to turn 12. Last lap board now about to be brandished. So last lap board is out, and it's going to be a 1-lap shootout between the 3 drivers at the front of the field. And now Austin Lee looks for the move up the inside and gets through on Enzo Bol, who instantly tries to counter-attack. They nearly clash, and Austin Lee has to take avoiding action. Dion van Werven nearly ending up in the left rear of Austin Lee, going through into turn 3 for the final time. And Austin Lee a little bit wider coming out of turn 6 in comparison with Dion van Werven. Macaulay Bishop is a little bit further than he would like to be at this moment. And again, through turn 8, Enzo Bol using that wide outside line to really help get the momentum through the corner. But he and Austin Lee take the same line through turn 9, down to turn 10. 2 more corners to go. We're coming to the conclusion of the Junior Rotax competition and the Euro Golden Trophy. Using the curving again, out of the final corner. It was Bruno Moulders last year. It is Enzo Bol in 2022. He becomes the Euro Golden Trophy champion in the Junior Rotax class, ahead of Austin Lee. 0.321 of a second. Dion van Werven taking 3rd position. Macaulay Bishop was very much in the hunt, but has to settle for 4th ahead of Kasper Schurmans. So Enzo Bol made it count when it mattered the most. And that was now. Because with the Golden Trophy, it is not like a traditional Euro Trophy event where you accumulate points. It is a winner-take-all event. The person that wins is the winner. End of story. So Enzo Bol takes the Golden Trophy crown in 2022, following in the footsteps of Bruno Moulders last year. Austin Lee in 2nd, ahead of Dion van Werven. But hang on a minute. Oh, development. Enzo Bol has lost it. Front fairing penalty in scrutineering, and the disappointment clear to see. So Austin Lee looks to have now become, as a result of that, these results are still provisional. So Enzo Bol getting a front fairing penalty, and that will dump him to around about 5th place behind Kasper Schurmans. Austin Lee, Dion van Werven, Macaulay Bishop, Kasper Schurmans. It will be Enzo Bol in the amended results. There are possibilities, as I say, every result is provisional pending sporting and technical checks, including front fairings being checked and seeing if the clips are in. So wet weather conditions meant that the mechanics had to work to get the tyres, the Mojo wet tyres, onto the karts. Disaster, however, for Mieke van der Pavert on the start. Had to start from the pre-grid. But the lights went out and Macaulay Bishop led the field into turns 1 and 2. Austin Lee keeping it pinned to the outside as they were 3 to 4 abreast. And there was the first spin. And that was the 227 that went round of Thomas Ingram Hill. And then there was more drama, this time for the 278. That was Finland's Jimmy Kokalainen. And the frustration very clear to see. And then that was the moment why. So Leon Zelenko went sideways and ended up in the back bumper of Jack West. And then Jack West had a bit of a spin through turn 7. And then got a little bit of an assist. And not an inexplicable assist, because we didn't really see it. Enzo Bol then took the lead from Macaulay Bishop. And then it was Austin Lee's turn to get past the youngster from Hoddesdon. Dion van Werven was looking through, but then Macaulay Bishop lined up the kart, put the pedal to the metal, and went round the outside of Austin Lee. Then Austin Lee then took the lead from Enzo Bol, as Macaulay Bishop would end up being overtaken. There was a little bit of a touch there. But Enzo Bol came across the line. He thought he'd won it. But a front fairing penalty gave it to Austin Lee.